girl be? Her eyes are open wide, and yet she's in a daydream that's better than real life. She knows a secret country where the grown-ups never go. Why, she's Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Curious friends and happy adventures too. Ooh, yes, she's Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, wait for us, we'll come too.
I don't want to.
You've got to.
Well, I'm not going to, Celia. I won't. Stop it!
You have to.
Why?
Mommy said I was to put it on you. Now listen to me, Alice.
Let me go, Celia.
All right.
Celia, quiet, girls. You're making enough noise to wake up the whole neighborhood. Your poor father's trying to get some sleep.
Sorry, Mummy, it's Alice's fault. She just won't put on her cardigan.
Please, Mummy. I can't stand it. It's so prickly. It scratches me.
Better a prickly jersey than a cold. Or do you want to go down with flu?
What are you doing standing in the hall? Come into the living room.
Mummy said you were lying down, Daddy, trying to catch up on some sleep.
Yes, I was hoping to, but I can't. Last night was terrible. I didn't sleep a wink.
Your father tossed and turned all night long, and of course that meant I couldn't sleep either.
Please.
All right, then. Give it to me.
It's funny that Mummy and Daddy couldn't sleep last night because I lay awake as well. Of course, Celia, dear, slept like a log. Oh, it's colder than I thought. Ah, my hat! Oh, there it is.
Stop! Don't touch that.
Huh?
Woe to the one who touches my croquet ball. Alice didn't move it a centimetre, Your Majesty. She only lifted her hat off. You're fibbing, Rabbit. I was watching both of you very carefully.
The White Queen's never been as unfriendly as this before, has she?
Her Majesty had difficulty sleeping last night. That's why she's in a bad mood.
Stuff and nonsense, Paul. You beware. My hearing's still very acute.
And who do you think you're talking to, madam? How dare you stand there shouting at me?
I don't believe this. Something's wrong. I've never heard them fight before. They're always such a happy couple.
Please forgive me for behaving so badly. I just don't know what's got into me, my dear. Will you accept my apologies, Alice? I can only put it down to a bad night's sleep.
I apologize, too. Bad moods are unforgivable.
Would you care to join us for a cup of tea in our castle?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, an outstanding shot, my dear. That ball is on its way to the Queen of Hearts' palace.
It's there already by the sound of it.
We'll have to hurry after it. Otherwise, the Queen of Hearts is bound to think it now belongs to her.
Whoever's responsible for this will report to me at once.
Your Majesty, wouldn't it be best to forget about the ball?
What a question. Look, there's Little Bill.
Yes, so it is. Little Bill? Good morning. Little Bill?
This is anything but a good morning.
What's the matter with you? Has something upset you?
Oh, no. Last night, I didn't get a moment's sleep, so I'm not feeling well. So I'd prefer to be left in peace. Don't bother me.
That's very strange. You too.
Mm-hmm.
It seems no one had a good night's sleep in Wonderland last night. Watch out! Why on earth did you throw that bucket at Little Bill? This is going too far. Haven't you any consideration for others?
I'm only interested in myself today, no one else. The baby spent the entire night yelling at the top of her voice. It was unbearable.
I walked her up and down for hours and lost my beauty sleep.
I don't think it would have helped very much.
What do you mean, impertinent girl?
Oh, nothing in particular, Your Grace. It's just that everyone I meet here today is complaining they've had no sleep at all.
And that's nothing in particular?
Please, Your Grace,
Alice didn't express herself very well, Your Grace. Please laugh instead. Please laugh like that, Your Grace.
If you've got a reason for laughing, please share it with me. I need to laugh so badly.
What are you crying for? Did someone hurt you?
Oh, no, fortunately, it's not as bad as that. It's because I'm so exhausted and I couldn't sleep the whole night long. My shell creaked and groaned and somebody crashed around, eh?
Well, when I use my hammer or when I use my saw, it's obvious there's going to be quite a bit of noise.
I'm not stupid. I know that. But why do you have to bang and crash through the night?
I was making good use of the time because I couldn't sleep.
If only you'd listen to me, I could give you some advice about how to stop this fighting, but I know you won't listen to me.
A modest child. Perhaps you could give us some advice on how to sleep better in future.
Drink warm milk and honey before you go to bed, or count sheep.
Where are the sheep?
Please, not so loudly.
I have a loud voice.
And I've a headache, so please keep your loud voice down.
I can't help having a booming voice.
Please, I beg you. I seldom ask for anything. Please consider my point of view.
And who do you think will consider my point of view, hey? I was only doing my job.
It sounds as if all of you got out of the wrong side of bed this morning.
You're quite wrong, little lady, quite wrong. You see, we didn't get out of bed the wrong side this morning, and you know why? Because we didn't spend the night in our bed. And if you haven't been to bed, then you cannot get out of bed. So you see, you're mistaken.
There's no point in trying to argue with them.
I won't put up with this bickering. Go and argue somewhere else. If you don't leave me in peace to get some sleep, I'll show you once and for all why dragons have got such a bad reputation. I'd only just lain down on the sofa for a little midday nap, and what did I hear? Your silly fighting right outside my window. You're badly brought up children, that's what you are.
Oh, it's serious. This time we've made him furious.
Don't talk so loudly. The Jabberwocky's got big ears.
Oh, I'm so frightened. I'm so frightened. So frightened.
Come along. What do we care about the Jabberwocky? Let's go and have tea.
Your Majesty, I think we ought to make sure the Jabberwocky's calm down, don't you?
Oh, he'll calm down in his own good time.
I don't believe that at all.
What
Remember, warm milk and a spoonful of honey.
What a sensible suggestion. I'll see to the milk and honey. After all, I am the cook.
When I was very young, someone used to sing to me, and that worked even better than milk.
I'll see to that, Alice. I'll go and fetch my ukulele.
No.
Or if we had a cradle that was big enough, we could try and rock the Jabberwocky to sleep.
Then we'd have to go inside the castle. I couldn't do that.
Don't be silly. There is no cradle big enough for him. But I'll set to work immediately and build one for the Jabberwocky. The biggest and best ever.
Keep quiet! Stop that infernal chatter!
Yes. Excuse me.
Come.
And now you have the audacity to walk straight past
Sounds
me.
very much as if the Queen of Hearts didn't sleep a wink last night either. And if that's the case, she'll be in a worse mood than all the others put together.
I've been waiting here for hours for an explanation.
Dear me.
A bad mood doesn't have anything to do with her sleeping badly. When's the Queen of Hearts ever in a good mood?
I know exactly who's to blame for the broken window frame.
Make yourself at home, Alice. We'd like you to be as comfortable as possible. Would you like to look at the paintings? King Paul and I will go and make tea while you do. Guard, go to the kitchen and make sure the water's on the boil.
Yes, Your Majesty, at once.
I could have told you so. He said he'd go, and now I'll have to go. Someone always lands up doing everything, but why does it have to be me?
When you have something to say, speak up so that I can understand.
Yes,
Poor man. He's so tired, he's fallen asleep on his feet.
You only feel sympathetic towards him for sleeping, Paul. I envy him with all my heart.
If you're having trouble going to sleep, why don't you try counting sheep, Your Majesty?
I'm afraid I don't think that's a very good idea, Alice. When I needed a remedy last night, I couldn't find any sheep to count. So I counted crocodiles. But by the time I'd finished counting them, I couldn't go to sleep because I was so terrified. The thought of them gives me nightmares.
I'm sure it does, Your Majesty. May I ask you something? Who's that?
The rather plain boy in the background is King Paul. The pretty lady in the front is me. Come along, I'll show you the other paintings. This is my great-grandfather Leonard. He was a painter, mainly an abstract painter. They say he invented the chessboard.
And is he an ancestor as well?
Yes, unfortunately. He was my great-grandfather's brother. He only did two things in the course of his long life. He watched his beard grow and waited for someone to invent the game of chess. Scandalous. Come along, Paul. We don't like to talk about him.
Your Majesty!
What a beautiful painting. There's something about her that reminds me of my grandmother.
How could it, Benny Bunny? She looks exactly like a sheep.
My grandmother looked sheepish. That's why they look the same.
She's definitely very, very old.
Then it must be my grandmother, because she's very, very old.
The stories you tell, Benny.
Oh, Alice, if only you knew.
Benny Bunny, have a look at this one. Oh, Benny? Where are you? Benny Bunny?
I'm over here.
Oh, Benny Bunny, what's going on?
Come on.
Oh, Benny!
Turn around.
Oh.
Don't stand outside there, child. Come in. It's much warmer inside.
Really? Oh.
Is there something I can help you with?
I don't know yet. I'd like to have a look at the goods here on your shelves first. I can't buy anything, though. I've no money.
Oh, good. I'm not keen to sell anyway.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand the situation. I thought I was in a shop.
It is a shop, my child, but I prefer to try and keep my things, not sell them.
Oh, I see. How do you do that? How can you knit with so many needles all at once?
It's the same as using two, just 4 times faster, that's all.
Why are you being nasty and making fun of me? I know people knit with 2 needles.
Not always.
Oh.
You see, the more knitting needles, the faster it grows.
Help me, please. Help me get out of this scarf. Please help me. I don't know how to get out of it.
Oh, poor grandmother. She gets scared so easily.
I've never heard a thing like that. Do you mean to tell me she's actually afraid of a knitted scarf? Can you tell me why you're afraid?
Yes, I can. Suddenly, out of the blue, I had 8 needles in my hands.
What needles? You can't knit, can you, Rose?
Yes, except on land.
You've forgotten about the water, grandmother.
Oh, dear, I'm getting forgetful. No boat in the world can possibly float without water. Get up, little Benny. Satisfied?
Where am I rowing to?
Wait and see. It won't be long now. I hear that you and your friends have got a problem. I'd like to help you solve it.
It's getting cloudy.
That's good. That wasn't a long journey, was it? We've arrived.
Where are we, grandmother?
We're in a land of sweet dreams. It's the most beautiful and most peaceful spot in Wonderland. The Sandman gets his sand from those dunes over there.
Really? My mother told me the story of the Sandman. She said that every evening he flies over the rooftops and sprinkles sand in the eyes of all the children so that they'll go to sleep. But last night...
That's no story, Alice.
Oh, if it was true, I'd have seen him.
No, because he's never shown his face to anyone at all.
Who lives in this pretty house?
The seller of sweet dreams. He's away on a business trip at present.
What does he do when he's away?
He looks for new dreams. The demand for sweet dreams is so great at the moment that he's run out of them.
Where does that winding path go? And who lives in that funny old hut?
You'll stay away from that. You wouldn't like it up there. That's where the nightmares are made.
This is where all the cats sleep.
So they'll be wide awake at night to catch mice.
They all come here for some peace and quiet.
Do they?
There's the reason why no one in Wonderland got any sleep last night.
What? Where? I can only see clouds, nothing else.
Look carefully. You'll see.
The clouds look like woolly sheep.
Yes, precisely. That's what I meant. Those are the sheep that people count when they're trying to sleep. However, for one reason or another, they're on strike at the moment. Here you are. Come with me. We'll go to them. I hope you aren't afraid of horses. There's no other means of transport, I'm afraid.
No! Why should I be afraid of horses? I love them. And anyway, this is a wooden rocking horse.
I'm glad you aren't afraid. Climb up and hold tight. You. Away we go. Are you enjoying yourself, Benny Bunny?
Very much, Grandmother. When you're with me, nothing scares me.
Good morning, Grandmother.
How dare he call you his grandmother when you're my grandmother?
What's wrong with you? Why aren't you standing in your correct places? Don't you want to be counted?
You don't feel like it. Who wants to stand all night and be counted?
It comes to the same number anyway. It's boring.
Yes, but it's been your job for years.
We're not going to do it anymore. We refuse to work. Why don't people count hens or chickens or canaries or even budgies? Why do they have to count sheep?
Yes,
indeed.
I only hope you aren't serious about this. It's a tradition to count sheep before going to sleep, you see.
I say it's a silly tradition. Absurd. To go jumping over a fence 100 times just so someone can snore.
Snore, did you say? What an ugly word to choose. Makes me think, though, being the loudest complainer, you're probably the one behind all this.
Well, I am the only one with a mind of my own.
No one could dispute that, Black Sheep. But you could show a little more respect for your forefathers. After all, they helped Napoleon to win...
Not again.
Yes, again. It won't hurt you to spend a bit of time learning some history. Listen when I'm talking to you. I'm old enough to have lots to remember.
Please, no, not that story again.
Don't quote Napoleon to us again.
Grandmothers all over the world tell stories over and over again.
No one tells the same story 10 times and starts all over again.
Oh, yes, indeed they do. They all do. Grandmothers have a right to do that.
Oh, dear, what a pity. There was something I wanted to tell you, and now I've forgotten.
It's also a grandmother's right to forget everything she wanted to tell you.
What you wanted to tell us is that one can only be happy when one is busy helping others.
Yes? How did you guess? The sheep that does good deeds is the only good sheep. In that case, do you think it is better to do nothing?
No, it's awful. It's far more boring, frankly. Life used to be so interesting when we could go jumping over fences every night.
Yes, I agree. I'm so bored that I find myself counting all of us. Otherwise, there's no purpose to life.
You dumb sheep. Don't listen to her silly reasoning. I think she's getting too old. She hasn't any idea of what's happening today. She's old-fashioned.
Yes, you're quite right. But it's difficult at my age to keep up with the times.
Don't you listen to the Black Sheep, Grandmother. You listen to me. It's quite true that Grandmother isn't as young as we are, but that's not a bad thing. On the contrary, it's an advantage because now she's very wise.
Yes, she is. We know she's wise. Why did you try and turn us against her? Why? We've always been quite happy jumping over fences, and we didn't mind being counted until you came and interfered.
All right. Calm down. I understand. But if you don't understand that I was trying to free you from that, then I feel very sorry for you.
Take up your positions.
Are you pleased with yourselves? It's what you wanted, isn't it? You were horrible to me because I'm not anything like the others, weren't you? But how can I help it? I was born the black sheep of the family.
That's quite enough self-pity, Black Sheep. Come with us. There's so much to be done. Have you got wool in your ears? Come along now.
Oh, all right, if you think I should also be counted. Don't be cross with me, Grandmother. I think I've made you angry today.
I'll make it up to you tomorrow.
Yay! You know, Grandmother, I didn't mean any harm with my arguments. I just wanted them to take a bit of notice of me, that's all.
I know, my little Black Sheep. I've known you long enough.
I promise I'll never do it again.
Alice!
Alice,
Too many to count.
it's too cold to sleep out here.
Look up at the sky and tell me what you see.
Lots of white clouds and one black one.
They're sheep, Daddy. And that black one, he's the one to blame because we couldn't sleep last night.
Next time, we'll tell you what Alice thinks about Humpty Dumpty, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and the Dawson twins. She'd only just arrived in Wonderland when she realised that the Dawsons, her neighbours, had followed her there. Alice was furious, because you see, the Dawsons had no idea of how to behave. They were identical twins, down to the last ounce of naughtiness. From morning till night, they were up to mischief. This was very annoying to Alice, because she was responsible for them in Wonderland. And what about Tweedledee and Tweedledum? More about them next time.
Who can that girl be? Her eyes are open wide, and yet she's in a daydream.